evening and welcome everyone to one more exciting learning session with GG Delhi NCR. And here's our full team here ready to bring you something new, something exciting, which we've been looking forward to for almost a month. So we're soon going to introduce you to the resource person for this session. As you have joining in, I'm sure you are excited to know more about the title of the session and anything that supercharge the environment supercharges the educators as well. So I'm sure you're all looking forward to that. But to begin with, welcome to GEG Delhi NCR. And GEG, in case you're joining for the first time, is for Google Educators Group. Absolutely a voluntary effort. And this is our effort, four of us here, to bring you some exciting ideas which can possibly help you to transform your classroom. Uh, with me, I have the team here, but I didn't mention my name. So my name is Sangeeta Gulati. If you had met me earlier, say hi to me in the chat right now. Let me know where you're joining from. If not met me earlier, please still introduce yourself as we do a quick round of introduction. Oh, perfect. Nice to have Gigi
Oh,
Petaling
lovely.
also joining us here. Welcome, welcome. Nima is always our best friend in spreading the word, and I'm looking forward to more of her, student teachers joining us in this session. All right, let's do a quick introduction with you, Sanchita, starting off.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hello Sangeeta ma'am, Vibha and Rupali. Hello to all our old and new friends. And yeah, as Sangeeta ma'am said, we are a bunch of educators, passionate educators who have also a passion to promote creativity, to look at possibilities of edtech and how we can infuse those into our day-to-day classroom interactions, easing our own work. Teachers over the years have only have had added pressure, and technology goes a long way in helping us deal with some of that, ease some of that, and promote creativity and engaging students in more learning opportunities, especially now that I struggle with it as well in terms of attention. My attention span is now that of a goldfish officially. And yes, our students struggle with that too. I think when we were growing up as students, our challenges were different, and today's challenges are very, very vastly different from what we have faced. So I think it is our duty as educators, and this is where GEG Delhi NCR comes in. We try to create as many learning opportunities for educators to learn how best to meet the students and help them learn for the future. So yeah, looking forward to what's happening today. One of my favorite tools is going to be discussed today, and I'm looking forward to learning some new hacks and tricks that I can now hide up my sleeve and wow my students when I go back into class the next day.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
you.
And I'm so excited to see Stephanie here in the chat. I'm a big fan of you, Stephanie, have
Yes,
been
yes.
following you from distance. So we haven't had a chance. Maybe we should get you next time on stage with us. Absolutely. And thank you, Frankie, also joining from the CAMI team here with us, who's also been coordinating this session. So welcome to all of you here. Rupali, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rupali Arora, the captain GT Delhi NCR, and as the entire team is excited, I'm equally excited for the session today because when we heard Cami, when we heard all these things, then of course it's something which is very exciting, and people think, okay, now when you hear the term, then what is it that we are looking for? But the possibilities are endless. So it's like something that you know already would be, I'm sure, less because there is so much excitement in this field. There's so much more to learn. I mean, we all are looking forward for today's session. So over to you, Vibha.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining in. Quick, I'll not take too much time. Quick introduction. My name is Vibha, I'm the Empower Captain, and as Sangeeta said right at the start, we're a bunch of educators who are, always trying to bring something new to our community of educators. and lovely having all the people who are joining in today. Thank you for introducing yourselves, and thank you for taking out the time and being here with us. I think we should not waste more time. I genuinely think others can realize that we are very excited, and let's just go on and get our guest for today on stage.
Right. So bringing on the expert for this session, Nicole. Nicole, very, very warm welcome to you. So Nicole is joining us from the CAMI team. She's heading the business development of EMEA and the APAC region. So she's just our kind of person who's on our side, taking care of people like us on this side of the APAC region. So definitely looking forward to learning from you. And as I reached out to the CAMI team, that I'm watching, some new developments coming up, and I would like to have that session brought in, because CAMI was the first, as I was just sharing with Nicole, was one of the first tools that we learned, simply because we felt the need to annotate on our assignments when we went online back in the COVID times. And now there are so many new things that have come up, just because, well, we have advanced, the technology has moved on, and so does the edtech tools. So Nicole, warm welcome to our platform. Stage is all yours, but would love to hear from you, what's happening, what's new, and what are you going to share with us, and also something about yourself.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta, and your team. Greetings, everyone. As Sangeeta said, my name is Nicole, and it is such a pleasure to be able to connect with you today and to bring you some of the newness of CAMI. Sangeeta shared with us that she has known CAMI for some time. Many of you on this call or those watching later may have known CAMI for some time, but there is an enormous amount that has been advanced since CAMI first was known as a PDF annotator. And it's a great pleasure for us to continue to listen to educators and try to develop the product that best suits your growing classroom challenges and needs. So thank you to everyone who is part of this community and who serves those beyond this GEG community, because it is through working together that we can continue to support in the education space. I would love to extend my gratitude to both the GEG leaders and the GEG participants who are in this call and those who watch later, and to my wonderful colleagues, many of whom have been a part of connecting us with this particular GEG and with these wonderful hosts that are with us today, and to my colleague, especially Frankie, who's helped to prepare some of the resources we'll share with you today. Really, I am truly excited to present some of the new ways that we have CAMI questions to supercharge what's possible in Google Classroom for educators.
Fantastic. We are looking forward to that. So may I present your screen now
That would
and
be fantastic.
get you
Thank you.
going? Yeah. So I think, we would like to leave the stage to you. So we'll go behind the stage. But I'm there, so we can always join back if there's a query or if there's something that you need help with. And then we get back to the discussion once we have seen what you are bringing to us. Is that okay?
Terrific. Let's kick it off with CAMI questions supercharged with ClassView. So we have a lot of exciting things to chat about today. Just quickly to just once again say that my name is Nicole and I am contactable afterwards. I would love to connect more with educators who resonate with some of what we've shared today. So please do follow us. CAMI is at CAMI App on all the socials. And you can also be able to reach out to me via email, or at the end, I'll give you some more options to continue your learning. So thank you. We are going to take a look at teaching and learning with CAMI. And as you support those who teach and learn with CAMI, you will be delighted to know that there is an extensive amount of support within the CAMI app, some of which you can see here on display for you, that involves multimedia ways to interact with any content that you bring into the new world of CAMI. And as you teach and learn with CAMI, you will be able to both incorporate powerful ways to connect with your students digitally on their documentation, and enormous support for your students whether it's with barriers to learning or just whether it is making connections with the content they are studying. And so we really do bring Cami to you as a place where students are engaged and they have accessible ways to show you what they know. And where teachers, you'll be delighted to know, tell us they save up to 8 hours a week. So we want you to experience that time save, and some of these new features are going to really supercharge that for you. So it's going to be all about annotations, how students can actually have the content supported and the ways that they share with you what they know supported. And it's going to be about AI-powered assessment. Yes, Cami has stepped into the space of offering AI functionality that is really significant and meaningful. It works right inside of your assessment workflow with Google Classroom and streamlines how you can offer easy, quick ways to check for understanding. We're also bringing you amazing insights that offer you chances to see how your students are doing, how the questions have been handled, and how you can react to that with your incredible support. We want to give you easy ways for you to share your support. That's what drives progress. The tools themselves are just there to support your teacher magic. And so it all begins with a Cami extension. And I'd love to encourage anybody who's in the call or who's listening later, please make sure that you do have the extension, because this is what enables you to have opportunities to bring things into Cami from the tools you're already using. So if you're in a Google environment and you are already using Docs, Slides, Sheets, a number of tools, you will see opportunities to bring those into Cami if you have the Cami extension. And so in the chat, you will notice that the short link to the extension has been given, and it is very simple for you to click there and you'll be taken right to the Chrome Web Store so that you can make sure you don't miss out on having those opportunities. Both teachers and students require the extension for the smoothest ride, so we really do encourage you to both install that extension and to hit the drawing pin and pin it, so it's always there and readily available to you. Some of the magic that will open up for you are opportunities to bring in slides, doc sheets, even Jamboard. As you know, Jamboard is a fantastic tool that unfortunately is coming to an end, but you can have opportunities to bring to life ways that you would have used Jamboard, but within the Cami extension opportunities. Classroom and Drive are also very much connected to the workflows you have with Cami. And then other tools like Canva or Teachers Pay Teachers also have a formal integration with us. So when you have the extension, you have easy ways to bring those that you have perhaps designed in Canva or resources from other sites like Teachers Pay Teachers directly into Cami for your workflow of assignments. So here's an example. If you are used to using Jamboard and you are feeling the pinch of not having that anymore when Jamboard is phased out, don't worry, we are here for you. We are listening. And I want to just address a misconception that you may also be feeling Cami is just for static documents. And you may know that when you bring something into Cami, the natural environment is that that resource gets glued to the background conveniently for you to be able to have your students not accidentally delete a question, or for you to keep intact the formatting, etc. of your resource page. But you'll be pleased to know it's very simple to create movable documents in Cami as well. And so check out the library. There are many different resources like this one shown for you here, where you can have tiles that are interactive, not unlike Jamboard, and also have all the other functionality inside of Cami to give your meaningful feedback very efficiently, but also to pop these into assessment workflows. So I'd love for you to reach out if you want more on that. Likewise, if you're a Canva teacher and you love using Canva to design, what an incredible platform. And we come alongside the tools that teachers use and love, and we offer you opportunities to bring that into Cami in order to give your very, very personal instruction on those pages that you've designed in Canva, but also to pop that into a full assignment workflow with Google Classroom. So these slides that I'm presenting today, those are available to you. I would love for that link to these slides to be popped into the comment, into the chat for you, so that you can refer back to these if you'd like to take a look at some of the things we have discussed briefly. Today, our session is very much on Kami questions and class view, but I wanted to mention those because lots of teachers are asking, and we do want to come and help in those spaces. Now, whether you have the Kami extension installed or not, there may be times when you're using a mobile device. And so you can have the same experience as clicking on the extension when you're on a cell phone or an iPad or a tablet, simply by using the short link Kami.app or the short link Kami.new to open a new whiteboarding experience. And so I'll just quickly show you how simple that is. I could click on my extension because I have the extension here, which would take me to my dashboard page. But like I say, if you're on a mobile device, simply typing in Kami.app will take you to that same dashboard experience on an iPad or mobile device. Or if you want to begin whiteboarding, simply typing in Kami.new is an opportunity for whiteboarding. And thereby you can begin your experience within the new world of Kami, with all the functionality we're going to play with today. So I have some more slides in there for you, but we are going to dig into the new world of Kami, and we're going to show you some of this functionality in action. How do we come alongside educators and bring a really meaningful opportunity to use AI specifically for teachers? And we also respect that it is your choice to opt into these AI functionalities. It is not part of a large language model that's going to be collecting your feedback, but it does offer you quick ways to not spend time crunching questions, but to use your time more powerfully to offer feedback to your students. So let's take a look at some of these wonderful examples in action. We'll come back to our slides, but Sangeeta very kindly shared with me some resources that we're going to use today, and I'm also going to try and bring in other things that I hope will be resources that will resonate with you. And I'm going to start with something really quite simple, not a document with a lot of text on it, but a document that is an image. And this is just, I've emailed it to myself in a test account here, so that I can show you what I meant earlier by bringing things into Kami from the tools you're already using. So from your email, if you receive an image or an attachment, you can right click and you can choose to bring that directly into Kami very simply. And that brings you opportunities now that you have in the new world of Kami that I'd like to explore with you today. So this is an image, but we are talking specifically about Kami Questions AI. Wait, am I really saying you can take an image and create questions with Kami Questions AI? I actually am. And I'm thrilled to show you this right now. So we're in the new world of Kami. If you've been in Kami before and you've known Kami for a number of years, you will notice that the experience is very similar, but there have been some enhancements. You'll notice a slight color change for the menus. We've tried to create a very similar layout so you don't struggle to find things, but we've also brought some of the tools you used to know much more to the forefront, and so they're easier for you to find. So as we work in Kami today, I will show you examples of things you know and where they've moved around to be more accessible. I'm going to save this automatically to my Google Drive quickly, and then I'm going to show you how, yes, we can generate some questions even on an image. I'm going to do that by clicking on one of the tools in my toolbox over here, which is the Kami Questions AI. Now, if you've never used the Kami Questions AI before, you will have the opportunity to opt in. So I'll show you that from your settings. If you scroll down to the opportunity for AI, you will see that there is an opt-in. You can change your opt-in preference so that you are able to use the Kami Questions AI if that's not turned on for you already. And this is just a teacher tool. So no students will see the Questions AI tool. You'll know why when we go through the workflow, but that will be available to you if you have turned that on. So let's take a look. Here is a image, and we would like to generate some questions. So I'm going to not choose the convert. I don't have any questions on the page to convert. I'm going to first show you this generate questions from scratch. And it's one page. So I'm just going to go from page 1 to page 1. And I'm going to, for instance, let's say my students are in grade 7. And I'd like to choose a few questions to show you an example of the generating questions options. I'm going to say 3 questions, and I'm going to ask for maybe 3 multiple choice. I'll click add more questions, and I'll also add a short answer option here. So let's just give ourselves a few questions. I'm going to hit generate, and I'm going to wait just a second as it loads for me some questions based on this image. And so there are a number of classroom practice ideas, scenarios that this would lend itself to. If you have a resource where you are working on something that is perhaps a news article online, or it is perhaps a poster in your classroom, you can take a picture. You can see already it has loaded some questions for me. And you can do this. You can say, Cami questions, please, will you generate questions for me? Here you can see some questions have been generated for me. They already understand what answers are the correct answers. And you as the educator are always the expert. So you can feel free to edit the question. If you'd like to use a different verb in the question, or you'd like to slightly alter things, or please, it's always important to double check things. So if you would like to change what is the correct answer, you have the full authority to do so. But these questions themselves are then available for you to use in Google Classroom. Yes, directly to Google Classroom. Let me show you how that works. You can click at the top here where you see this little notepad, and you can click to create a Google Classroom assignment right from this page. So at the click of a button, I got questions generated for me, and now I can assign them directly to Google Classroom. And there are some really big wins to combining Google Classroom with Cami, some of which you'll know. But let me remind you, if you don't know, that feature controls is a big win. On any assignment that you set up as a Cami assignment in Google Classroom, you get to say which tools and features your students can or cannot use on the page. So where I was setting this particular task, my students really just need to be able to click on the correct answers for the multiple choice, and then they just need to use the text box for their answers that they type in. So there was one short answer that they would need the text box, or they may, in other instances, need different selections of tools. But here I could simplify the process, and when the students open up, they would just have the tools I've allocated. How fantastic to be able to streamline, get rid of some of the distraction, and just have what the students need. You may have noticed also in a different type of assessment, you may choose to turn off something like copy and paste, because you may want your students not to go to an AI functionality elsewhere and ask the question and then paste in an answer. So yes, on any Cami assignment, you can even turn off the ability to copy and paste. Absolutely a game changer. Now let's take a look at what this might look like. I've already assigned this particular image in Google Classroom, and I'd love to just show you what this looks like when the students have actually turned in their work, and also what it looks like to actually complete this task. And so let's take a switch to a student view where I can in fact show you what does it look like for the student to now respond to this. I was very quickly able to create an assignment task, and one can do so from within inside of Google Classroom or from the Cami page as I showed you. And the student simply clicks from Google Classroom directly into Cami. What a really simple workflow process for them. It will open up into the Cami window where the student has the document, here is the image, and the questions along the side here, and the student can respond by answering the questions. Now here I can click on the correct answer. I can choose what answers I feel are correct. Perhaps I will say obviously an incorrect answer here to show you. Here is the answer that I would like to select here. And then this last one, maybe I don't know. So I'm actually just going to type I don't know. All right. And then I'm going to turn in. What a simple, simple process. Students simply can turn in directly from the assignment itself. No need to go back to Google Classroom, find the assignment and turn it in. Turning in right from the assessment pages turns in directly to you as the Google Classroom Cami teacher. So let's go back to our example of the teacher itself, where we can, in fact, see what has happened to those assignment pages. So some of the other game changers in Google Classroom when you have assigned a Kami assignment, just a reminder that if you assign a Kami assignment, you can do so from here, from your familiar Plus Create, or from the document itself, as we did a moment ago. And here is this particular assignment that we would like to take a look at. Now, there are a few ways for you to get to this magic class view we've been anticipating. One way is for you to click on the assigned work, and you will notice that you have two options here. Both of these are unbelievable game changers. The one is the ability to edit an assignment after you've posted it, and this will make the change to every student copy. And the second is to open a class view and be able to see all the students' responses as they're responding in one screen. So let's take a look at what that looks like. We will open up into the class view now, where we get to see and grade across scripts for different students in my particular class. So here you can see is the image that I have assigned to my students. You can also see a draft mark in gray at the top of each of these scores. And I can have a look between the questions itself, and in this case, it was just an image, or the answers, where I can see how did my students do on this in real time. So the student that I was answering for just a few seconds ago was Noah. You can see Noah answered the 20th century as his answer. And of course, that's incorrect for this particular beautiful artwork. And you can see the questions that the student did not get correct, those that they did get correct, and a draft mark. Now, I could actually agree with this draft mark, or again, as you are the experts in your classrooms, you perhaps may disagree and want to allocate a different number of suggested points, in which case you can do. You can amend this if you feel, for instance, they needed an additional mark, or you can leave it as 2 points out of 4 if that's accurate. And then you could return to your student directly, either return just to this particular student, or when you finish grading, return to all. Super simple and smooth. So it's a wonderful way for you to gather how have your students progressed. Now, it's also possible for you to, in the new world of Kami, move very quickly between your template file, where you have assigned work to your students based on that original file that you set the questions on, and this class view. So if I wanted to just see the assignment file itself, I can use that toggle and go and take a look at the particular assignment page that I was assessing. And I could make a change here and then update all if there was something that I wanted to change. So for instance, if I wanted to change the particular question wording and I wanted it to say the paint work or the painting instead of artwork, let's see if I can spell that correctly. There we go. I have a golden rule. You can never, ever type when somebody is watching you. So I can now update all. If I want to update that question itself, I can make that amendment. It's not just going to amend my template file. Even though students may have started working, as you see, as I was Noah a few moments ago, assigning the assignment and working on that, you can actually view that update in real time on every student copy. So let me flick back to the class view to show you what that looks like. So that amendment will now be visible on that document. The students' questions and answers will have updated, and they will see that particular change. So you can see here it now says painting in the question. So that update is live and will be live for every student. So fantastic, fantastic help. And then the other promise that we gave is that you really can drive your support best if you have insights on how an assignment is handled. So on any assignment you've assigned as a Kami assignment, you will have these deep insights. You will be able to see a class average, your top, median, and lowest scores. You will be able to see a distribution and an analysis of each question. And so if I can begin to understand if a question has been poorly answered in general, that will really help me direct my support quickly to those who need it. So that was the first example, just on an image of what we were able to achieve, opening it by right-clicking, opening in Kami, and working with that. The second example I'd like to bring you and to share with you is a little of our language support. And so thank you, Sangeeta, for providing this Hindi resource. I am really excited for you to stretch the capacity of what's possible also for your teaching with Hindi resources. So let me show you a little of what you can enjoy. Here is a particular resource inside of Kami, and in the new world of Kami, some of the menus will be, as I say, in familiar places, some of which have been moved to the front. So you may know the annotation bank. This is a tool that used to be a little hidden away, and we know that it's one that teachers really, really appreciate, to be able to save feedback to regularly give to students. So this is now front and center in the top of your screen here. You can easily click there to see your frequently used or saved feedback. So if I wanted to give a timer, for instance, to this particular task for my students, I don't need to find that timer. I really like this YouTube timer. I've already saved it to my annotation bank. It's simple and quick for me to actually have this timer. So students and they could actually themselves as they work through this particular assessment. Let me pop the annotation bank away while I show you some of that language support I promised to show you. So inside of Kami, it is possible to use the read aloud and to choose a Hindi voice. Each voice that you use for read aloud is device dependent. So you may find if you're working on an iPad, those are different to if you're working on your laptop device, but there are a number of wonderful voices for you to choose from. If I choose a Hindi voice, you would be able to then play a read aloud on the page. And that will allow you to have that read aloud on a Hindi document. And there is more. Let me show you some more of the features support you can have for Hindi. If I go to my settings in Kami, we are starting to be able to give the entire app experience in other languages. And so it is possible for you to choose already several different languages to have the whole app inside of Kami translated as an experience in another language. We don't have that for Hindi just yet, but we do have the opportunity for you to voice type in Hindi. And I've got a lovely hack for you for the entire app experience that I'm going to show you in Hindi as well. So I am not going to be able to speak in Hindi, I'm afraid, but I'd love for you to test out the voice typing and keep us updated of your experience. But inside of that Hindi resource, let me show you what you can already do with an app smash of our Google Translate extension and Kami together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Google Translate extension, and I'm going to pick Hindi as my language choice, and watch how the experience will be transformed for you fully into Hindi. So you can actually hover over any of the menus and tools and features and see the correct Hindi words. Again, you can really be immersed in your language teaching with some of this wonderful language functionality. And so I really would love for you to try this out and let us know as you explore the functionality we have for languages inside of Kami. Voice typing, I'm so glad you're excited. I would love for you to test that out and keep us posted. So yes, this is available. It is per user. So your students in your class may have different language needs. They can select the language they'd like to view the resource in, and they can also select the voice typing language, and they can also choose the voice that they would like for read aloud as their own preference. You may have noticed in the read aloud, not just the opportunity to change the language, but also to change the speed and the pitch. So this is very much a personal preference. For students who are younger, they may choose the speed to read aloud much slower than students who are older and obviously more readily able to read quickly and comprehend quickly. So that is the second thing I wanted to show you, is some of the support we have within language. And let's get back to some more Kami questions opportunities. The next option that I want to show you is in fact a resource that, again, thank you, Sangeeta. Sangeeta shared with me, which is a math resource that I've opened here into Kami. And because this is a number of pages, this is a great example for me to show you one of the other most loved tools, and one that's not part of the new world, but one of them that really fits in well with us showcasing Kami questions. And that is the split and merge. Now, inside of our new world of Kami, you will see we've taken what was a long menu right over here, and we've condensed that into smaller menus that are eye-catching with little icons relevant to those features. So you will now be able to find the split and merge tool right here in the toolbox. Okay, so that's the menu to look for if you, like me, love the split and merge tool. So because this is a large document, you may want to just send some of these pages to your students and not all of them. You may be working specifically on certain pages that you want your students to receive as an assignment and not all. So the split and merge window is a place where you can pull together, split up, or delete, or actually duplicate pages and files. Now, I know as educators, we feel a little panicked, myself included, when we wonder what's going to happen to our original. And so I want to assure you that when you use split and merge, you are not changing your original file, but you are creating other versions of your file, especially curated for your class. So you can, in fact, make multiple versions. If I want to use this for class 7A and this for class 7B, for example, a great way to do that is to duplicate here in the split and merge. Or if maybe some of the pages of this resource had the memo on, then I could quite easily trash those memo pages and not share those, of course, when I'm assigning the work to my students. You can take a quick look at exactly what's on that page in more detail by zooming on those little arrows. And you could also duplicate pages if you wanted more than one of the same page. That can be helpful when you're developing a document that many students are using. Each are working on one of their own pages in one file. Lots of opportunities here also to bring in other resources. So if you want to bring in a Kami library template and combine it here, you can in fact pick a Kami library template. So maybe I want to give some graph paper, and that's going to tie in well with me assessing something that is involved in this particular resource. That will load for me. And as soon as I bring it into one row, it will now become part of that new file that I'm creating. You can bring in pages not just from the Kami library, from your drive, or if you simply hit the plus pink circle there, from your device itself as well. Combine those exactly as you'd like and be able to assess what it is that you require from your students. Now, what I've done for an example of this maths assignment task for you is I've actually taken a screenshot and I've put it into a Google Doc. If you're an educator who loves working in docs, you're not alone. What a fantastic word processing tool, and it's an easy place for me to work into. And so I've quickly popped this screenshot of just that particular exercise that I'd like to work in Google Docs. Now, at the beginning of our session, I reminded you that we can use the extension to bring in the documents we love directly into Kami for this assessment workflow. So if you like typing in docs or you like making your presentations in slides, go ahead and then have the pleasure of easily bringing that into Kami when you're ready to. So this I've actually brought into Kami, and I'll show you what we can do with it inside of Kami. We are here to share with you some of the really impactful Kami questions opportunities. So in order to read this page or any image you open in Kami, you will automatically be offered the opportunity to run text recognition. That is like optical character recognition, OCR, if you know the acronym, and that will allow you to actually read the text. So let's go ahead and do that. We need to save it to our drive in order to do that. And so I'm just going to give it a second to read that file. So it will understand the words on that page for me, which will be very helpful. In order to have the words understood on a page, we'll of course enable functionality like the dictionary tool. So if I needed to look up a word on the page, I would be able to look up a word on the page and have that Oxford definition of that word, it's just loading for me, also either read out or just on screen. So I can have a look and it will give me, oh, that polynomials is a word maybe I'm unfamiliar with. So you can break down these barriers for students by giving them where appropriate, these functions. They can look up these words and actually know what is the question talking about. How do I best answer this question? They can also hear the definition with these audio clips. And so a wonderful way for you to have these definitions accessible for students is that read aloud as well. It'll also read aloud the text on the page itself. And so because I've had the OCR or the text recognition, it will now understand in order to read. But let's kick into those CAMI questions. So what we're going to do on this particular diagram is we're going to convert the questions. There are some questions on this page, but I would like to save myself the time here and have the self mark for me. So yes, you can not only have the question crunch cut in time for you with the CAMI Questions AI, you can also have your marking time cut. So in this particular case, not like we generated from scratch just now, we are going to convert because there are some questions on the page. I'm going to convert this document and I'm going to use just this one page and I'm going to hit convert the questions. So go ahead and sip your coffee, take that breather, do your tight exercise, whatever you would like to do for just a second. And I'm going to encourage, don't miss this little win at the bottom of the page. As you have these seconds while the questions are being converted, there are fantastic hints on the page for you. And it allows you to actually be able to have questions on the page for you to assign to your students. Now, I'm going to show you one that I made earlier with some of these on it, where I've actually used some of the functionality that is already assessed on the page, but in a different way with markers. So let me show you what I've assigned to Google Classroom. Here we go. Here is my mathematics question, and I have used these CAMI questions and I've assigned them to the classroom, but let's see what I did in order to really make this a meaningful exercise for the students. I have actually taken the opportunity to use a functionality in CAMI questions where I can put a marker on the page. So here where there are graphic details, the questions relate to specific parts of the page. So let me open up the assignment itself, the template file, and let me show you how I did that. So the questions I generated, let's say half an hour ago, they appeared on the page like this. The first question was a question that I chose to actually drag onto the page. So my students could answer the question as a typed response directly onto the page. The questions 2 to 7 related to those diagrams on the page. So what I did was I moved the question onto the page and then I used the marker option to just give me a question marker on that page. Now, what does that look like? Let me go back to show you from scratch that particular reference. Let me go back to that document. Where is the one that we had open a moment ago? Is it this one? There we go. So you can take the question itself and you can actually move it onto the page if you want your students to answer it on the page, or you can use that marker. So what I'm going to do is show you if I drag the question onto the page, here is what it looks like to have the question movable into the space that I have on the page. So I don't actually need the title of this document. My question is going to start off by saying, in this graph here below, find the zeros on the page, and they're going to need to type in the answer as a typed response. Or I'm going to choose the marker option and make this particular marker reference a question. So here is how you can either have the question on the page where students type, or you can move that marker into place to reference a particular graph. Okay, so that is what I did as I set up this class view option, and let's see how those students did. You can either check the view assignments button, the review work button, or the assigned button. All three of those will give you those magic buttons for you to see your class view and your edit options. Let's take a look in class view. Here, this maths task, the students had to have a look at how many zero values there are on these particular polynomials. And the little markers showed them which question they were answering at a time. You see, here are the little markers. The first question they typed in, how do you find the number of zeros? And the next few questions referred directly to that graph. I did not have to draw these graphs. I did not have to type out these questions. I simply popped them on the page because Cami Questions saved me that question crunch. And I can zoom in or out and scroll and see my whole class. I only have a few students in this particular class, but you can have any number of students that you are assessing in this way. Again, how exciting. We have not just the questions view, we have the answers view, where you can take a look at how your students have achieved in this particular assignment. And we have the insights view. Now, on the insights view for this particular question, you might notice as you look at the assignment analysis that the students have really battled with this first question. This has been a question that they have not found easy. And so this would be an ideal opportunity for us to use the other game-changing feature in Google Classroom and Cami assignments. And that is where we can actually update the assignment and give something of what we know to be needed feedback for the students to cope better with this question, or for the students to learn next time when they have a question like this, what was required. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that edit assignment option and how this can empower the way you give support. So those insights can drive my impact. I know this first question wasn't really well handled, and that might mean that the students don't really understand the number of zeros for a polynomial. They're a little confused about what that means. And so there are many ways you could give your explanation. You could use the comment tools, and you could give a voice comment explanation. You could give a text comment explanation, a video, or even a screen capture where you model something for your students. Or the example I wanted to show you is perhaps you have a YouTube video which really well describes the particular type of problem that you are assessing here. And so you can take this YouTube link and you can actually use this in order to give your feedback to your students. Now, what I can do is in this update all window, in my template view, I can put any YouTube video either into a text comment, where just by pasting that and pressing enter, I will have what is a zero function, what is the zero value, of a function. And that little video would be helpful feedback. I don't need to spend a lot of time recording my own video. I can just use that. It's a very appropriate video, and I can update it on every student copy so that I just give them that very quickly, what they need. So I can actually choose to update all. And before I do, let me remind you, YouTube content in Cami is perfectly safe for students. Not only will it be no adverts and no next video, but if you choose to place a video not in a text comment like this to load on the side, but let's say, for example, you wanted to load the video on the page itself, let me remind you, you have this fantastic opportunity to even decide where the video starts or finishes. So direct your students to exactly what they need to know. You could even decide where you'd like the video to start or finish. Isn't that incredible? And you can pop that directly onto the page and resize it for however you would like this to help those students. So I could pop this little video directly on the page like this, and I'm going to leave both of these options on the page to show you, and I'm going to choose this update all. Okay, so just one way you can give your feedback very quickly to the entire class. Let's take a look at that live. We're in the template view, let me remind you, and we can toggle very quickly between the template view and the class view just by using this toggle. And here we go. Let's go into the class view again, where we can show you that each and every student will now have that video for them to view. And also if they hover over, they will see the comments. So students only see their own work. This is a wonderful, wonderful connection that you have with your students, where you can offer personalized support that just they need, or you can offer this support across the class like we did for the update all. If I only wanted to give feedback, for instance, to Amelia, I can choose to do so in this class view. Here I can maybe put a voice comment on Amelia's page, and I can say, Amelia, you're very close by saying that the zeros are where it cuts the y-axis, but in fact, the zeros are where the function is 0. So it's actually where the graph cuts the x-axis. But you're nearly there, and well done for the rest of the questions you handled so well. You know, I can leave that feedback not in front of the whole class, not for everybody, not everybody needed that, but I can encourage just Amelia in a very personal way here, and just Amelia will have that instant feedback from me. And it's so quick for me to record my own voice, my own inflection, my own explanations as a teacher on a Kami page. So really a wonderful way for you to be supported with your grading and feedback. So pleased to see the lovely comments in the thread here. And I just want to go back to our original slide as I can land with some of the big wins we have seen in our examples today. So let's just go through. I've got lots of resources in this particular slide deck, and there is a link for you in the chat so that you are able to actually take a look and refer back to anything that we have covered today. But just to show you, the really new updates for you are in terms of AI-powered assessment, greater insights, and accessible experiences for you. So within the AI power that we had a look at today, a reminder, you have 3 options. You can convert questions, generate questions, or even create questions from scratch where needed. Save yourself time. Take a resource that has questions and just hit that convert button. Have them now self-grade for you directly in Google Classroom. What a win. Create new assessments by being able to generate questions where you didn't have questions. You've studied a passage of text, you want to check for understanding. This can be a quick exit ticket or a longer, more formal assessment as it suits your needs. You also have the opportunity to control the environment. Would you like students to answer the question directly on the page, or is it helpful to have a marker that refers to something on a diagram? Would you like to see how the students will respond and how that is graded? You get this binocular student view for you to test out your questions and decide how you'd like them to be assessed. And sharing is easy. We've now made that button in Kami a share button, as that is a familiar term in lots of different tech tools you use. And so you can share an assignment page like this with a link, or you can actually use the Google Classroom workflow. The published changes that we discovered in our session today is there for you when you want to make a bulk update to everyone. If there's an error on that particular task, or you know everyone needs a certain kind of input or feedback from you. And so if you've been inspired today, I want to land with some opportunities for you to extend your experiences with Kami. We would love to encourage all of you in this Google Educator group to take our Kami Certified Educator course. You'll be happy to know this has been souped up for you with lots of real-life scenarios and classroom practices that has also been streamlined into just half an hour. We know time is limited, and so we want to give you all this impactful fundamental knowledge in a half-hour course, a free course for you that you can begin at any time from any device, even a mobile phone. So if you find yourself waiting for an appointment somewhere and you've all of a sudden got half an hour, this is a great way to spend your half an hour. And do post and share with us. I know you'll inspire others. And then a very special way for us to support those who are Google champions is that we do have a very exciting Kami Hero program about to be launched. And we would love to encourage those who are in the Google champion umbrella to be a part of that, to partner with us to really offer support and share these incredible features with your community. And so we have a Kami Perk license available for anyone who's a Google certified trainer, innovator, or coach falling in the Google champion umbrella. And we would love for you to reach out. The link is here for you to click and request that Kami Perk if you don't have it. There are also trainer slides. So if you are able to offer training to those in your community, we can cut the sweat for you and give you really up-to-date slides that help you to share these Kami tools and features. And we also have a support guide for you that will take you through the support that you have partnering with us in the Cami team. Another way that we would love to give you an opportunity to extend your learning is I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to hear you and your classroom experiences, those that you're working with, and help you personally. So please feel free to click or to go to calendly.com/Nicole Cami and grab a few minutes for us to connect, half an hour for us to connect, whatever time you have. I know I will treasure having an opportunity to work with you. So thank you. And before we close, it is our way of saying thank you also for us to give you a certificate of participation with us today. We would love for you to either pick up your phone and scan this QR code in order to go straight to our training feedback form where you can quickly type in your feedback. You will be able to choose from Cami, Google Classroom and Cami as an option that you have had training on today, and you will be able to just quickly log your feedback. If you've got questions or follow-up that you haven't had a chance to put in the chat today, feel free to pop those in the feedback form, and that will generate a certificate for you, and we would really love to hear your feedback in that way. So huge thanks to those who have the opportunity to do so, and I will just love to have questions in the chat before we close if you have. So feel free to chat out if you've seen something and you'd like to ask questions before we draw to a close. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. There's so much that we have learned today. I've been opening Cami on in the other account and trying out some of these features. Very excited. But I have also shared the link that you have shown here in case our viewers are trying to get the certificate from Cami team. Then please go ahead, click that link, give feedback to Nicole, and then get the certificate of participation. Of course, our GEG Delhi NCR certificate link is already there in the chat. So absolutely, thank you so much, Nicole. There are lots of wows coming from everywhere. Those people who joined us and who are going to be looking at the recording later as well. There's so much to try out and experience, and magically it worked on every document that I had shared with you. So it's been great experience and great. It's eye opener, thinking that so much
Yes.
new has come into Cami. So I'm going to just take away your slides, and then in case there is any question from our viewers, we would love to take that on. But Sanchita and Rupali are here with me. Any feedback or any question that's coming up in your mind?
Yeah,
Nicole, I
actually, I
must
have to
say,
flaunt.
yeah, please, Sanchita, go ahead. Oh,
Hey, thank you. It's lovely to see you, Cami.
So I had to flaunt my hero T-shirt. Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
You are rocking it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Absolute pleasure.
That
Actually,
is
so
the
it's
best
a
thing
lovely,
to do.
comfortable T-shirt to wear as well. Yes, I love swag.
Yeah. We should
Brilliant.
Yeah.
now
Sorry,
all follow
Rupali.
the path Nicole has shared and finish our certifications, because the certifications
Yes.
also are getting revived. We did have those
Hmm.
badges with us, but I think now we need to get the new badges as well. So that would be
Yes.
fantastic. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, Nicole, I must share one thing that, this uh, feature that you showed, that we can even edit the feedback video, because we don't want to share the entire YouTube video to our children. So we really want to emphasize on that one aspect
Yes.
which has gone wrong in the answer. That was the game changer. I said that's amazing that within this Cami feature only we can actually go to that extent. That possibility is amazing. And the cherry on the cake is what you have given it to Google Champions, and we all four of us are
Yes.
Google Champions.
And of course, I can
That
see
was
lots of
cherry on the
people,
cake.
yeah, or in the live show as well. Quite a few of them are champions themselves, and many who will later join. So yeah, that's a great opportunity to test out these new features. And yeah, from the first experience of Cami a few years ago to now, such amazing changes have taken place. So much more power to Cami, within Cami. And yeah, I've been making my notes on the side as to, okay, my next month's plan. how I'm going to
Great.
be infusing Kami more in my classes now.
Thank you. And those who are supporting other schools, please know that we do offer schools the opportunity to pilot these features. And we welcome the chance to offer our training to those schools as they get to know these features too. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you for joining us today and showing us this. I'm going to, get back to the recording, and all our viewers also, please spread the word, get back to the recording, share the recording around. It's going to be available on our YouTube channel forever. Get back to that and reach out to Nicole or anyone in the Cami team in case you have any doubt, any query, any question to follow up. And also give us the feedback. How did it work for you? Specifically, we were getting very excited with the reading out aloud even in Hindi. So does it work in your language? Because we have few educators and trainers, educator teachers who have joined us here from Malaysia. So
Yes.
right, so does it work in your context or not? So try it out and let us know, or let the Cami team know, so that the tool can be perfected for everyone. And really looking forward to taking this on and trying it out, and also seeing how it effectively it works. I was very excited to see that it did. I opened up that same document that I had shared with you, and it could create questions in math, and it did not distort my mathematical equation. So polynomial remained, the same format. It did not turn it into any gibberish, which is always something exciting. I don't want to retype the math.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that was something great to test out
Yes.
as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute honor to connect with all of you and to share these Cami features. We wish you joy as you save yourself time with Cami questions and ClassView.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Nicole. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So, with that, I think we are going to wrap up today's session, and looking forward to bringing you some more exciting sessions in the next few weeks. And of course, also look out for our birthday celebration coming up in month of October. So we would be planning and bringing something exciting for you. So look out on all our social media what we plan and how we celebrate our birthday. Till then, take care, everyone, and keep learning. See you soon.